I'm now going to simulate the failure of a node by pulling its network cable out. This effectively cuts the node off from the cluster, and the other two nodes will still be online and serving content. You'll see that they will notice that the node is gone, and they will go into a recovery action. The content is still on this existing node and is still on the node and good, but it's not online at the moment, and so the other nodes don't know the difference between a complete failure of the node and a temporary outage. So that computer is now off the network. You can continue. You see our background process scanning through the content is still continuing to run over here. You'll see though that this window is not coming up, and I've asked for an update here because it's not reachable on the network. You see the cluster now reporting that that node is offline. Its status has changed. And what we're looking for is we're now looking for the announcement messages that the recovery actions have initiated for the 4 volumes that are now offline on that node. So there is the start of the announcements. It says that it's initiating volume recovery. You notice that there are 4 volumes involved because there are 4 volumes in that node that went offline. CAStor really tracks things by volume. The node doesn't matter so much as long as that volume is on or offline. That's the real key that CAStor is looking for. And you'll see that this node is also announcing volume recoveries for those same 4 volumes. So what is happening right now is these 2 nodes that do remain in the cluster are going through their list of where they know they've shared content before with the node that went offline, and they are very rapidly going through that list to make sure that the content gets re-replicated such that it brings it back up to the desired level of replication in the cluster. Replication in the cluster represents not only data protection, but it represents the ability for some performance gains if you have a lot of reading going on in your cluster. So let me see, I'm looking at 102 here, node 102. You see that it's now reporting recoveries of those volumes, meaning that that rapid operation that it was going through is now completed, and it is now it's finished with the stuff that it shared in common. And flip back here to node 102 and 101 are both reporting that they have. Well, 101 is actually reported that one of the volumes is completed with. It's still working on the others. Okay, we got one more volume now on the list is recovered, so one more to go, and this node will also be completed with its task. While we're waiting for that, let me go and point out something here. You notice that there are cluster operations to shut down and restart all the nodes in the cluster. There are equivalent kinds of options that are on a per node basis. So if you needed to bring a node down for some sort of maintenance, or perhaps to move it, service it, etc., you could gracefully shut down or restart from the web console here. So we now have recoveries, complete messages from 4 volumes that were offline. We are now back up to the desired level replication of the content. So we have effectively healed now from the loss of this node. Now I'm going to bring the node back online by reinstalling the network cable. And we'll see the web console show that effect in just a moment. Okay, that node you can see is now shown up as being online again. It is reporting errors though, so let's take a look and see what those errors are. I'm going to click on the node itself to bring up the detailed view over here on the right-hand side of the window. So it is reporting that it tried to initiate recovery on 8 volumes. And the reason for that is that from the point of view of this node, it got isolated on the network. The other nodes appeared to go away from its point of view. And so it attempted to recover content that it shared in common with them. But what this error is about is that when it tried to make another replica of content, there wasn't enough nodes. There were not enough nodes on the network to replicate it, because it was the only one there. And so after several of those failed attempts, it then surfaces as a warning to the administrator that it's not able to keep up with not able to keep the number of replicas that were asked for on that content. We're going to go ahead and acknowledge those and clear that error. You see that it's actually in the announcements, it's now reporting that it's complete on the recovery of those volumes. So let's clear the errors off of there. And you'll notice that it's telling you that the error table has been cleared by the administrator. There no longer are errors showing here. And then the status will propagate up to the cluster-wide page here in just a moment. And those errors are now cleared off of here at a global level.